Welcome to the top 5 Bowser boss fights in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Now, with this top 5, it actually worked out kind of perfectly because in the new Super Mario Bros. Series, there are exactly 5 games. I know someone out there is going to get all technical and say that New Super Luigi U isn't its own game and that it's just DLC to New Super Mario Bros. U. But you know, facts are facts, and Nintendo clearly marketed New Super Luigi U as its own game. Back in June of 2013, Nintendo came out with a DLC version of New Super Luigi Bros. U on the eShop for $19.99. A couple months later, in August, they decided to release a physical copy of the game for $29.99. So you're pretty much getting a much more challenging version of New Super Mario Bros. U at half the price point of New Super Mario Bros. U, and you don't actually have to go out and buy this game just to spend an additional $20 to get this game. So in a situation like this, where Nintendo come out with a game like this as DLC for another game and then decide to make a physical copy of it, it's a no-brainer to go out and get the physical copy, because that way you don't have to buy this game just to spend more money buying this game to play this game. You could just play this game without spending 50 bucks on this game. And you know, some might even argue that this game is better than this game, but that's a discussion for another time. So anyways, moving on to number 5. So the reason this game scored the number 5 spot on my list is because the final boss battle in this game is an exact replica of the final boss fight in New Super Mario Bros. U. Except without Mario, obviously, because Mario does not exist in this game. So the thing about Luigi U is that you're challenged the entire game by playing through 82 different levels, very similar to the levels that you played in New Super Mario Bros. U, except you have 90 seconds on the clock. Normally in Mario games, they start you out with 300 seconds, which is a lot of time. But in this game, they give you 90 seconds in each level, including the final level that you play in the game. So the entire game, I am challenged, rushing through levels, stressing that I'm skipping over some of the star coins, and then I make it to the final battle. And even then, the final level, they give you a limited amount of time, making it challenging. Then I get to the final boss, and I'm told I have 300 seconds on the clock to beat him? What? You know how long it takes to beat the final boss in this game? Not 300 seconds. So they pretty much ruined this entire fight by giving you 300 seconds on the clock, cutting you some slack at the end of the game. That, and like I said, the entire boss battle is a carbon print of New Super Mario Bros. U's boss fight, except without Mario. It honestly feels like a heroic dream Luigi has, where Mario doesn't exist and he doesn't have to live in Mario's shadow anymore. The game overall is a really good game, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it. New Super Mario Bros. DS is the great-great-grandfather of the New Super Mario Bros. Series. This game came out in 2006 for the Nintendo DS, and it was the first of its kind. I guess you could say it was a new and more super way to play Mario Brothers. When I first played the game, it was the most amazing thing I remembered playing on the DS. I grew up playing Super Mario Bros. 3. It was one of the very few games that I owned on GBA, and that game I played and beat over a dozen times. More than I can even remember, I'm sure. So being able to experience Mario Bros. Again, but on Nintendo's latest and greatest handheld console at the time, was a dream come true. The game played very smooth. It was very challenging for me at the time. Some of the star coins were really hard to get, and I'm sure when I do my top 10 hardest star coins to get video, most of them will end up being from this game. So the problem with the final boss fight is, yet again, at the end of a challenging game, Nintendo make the final boss a joke. For real, look at how easy it is to beat Bowser. Imagine, all I knew for 2D Mario games was Super Mario Bros. 3. I go from beating the final boss in Super Mario Bros. 3 to the final boss in New Super Mario Bros. DS, and I truly felt disappointed. And for those reasons, this game earns the number 4 spot. I will cut Nintendo some slack though. It was the first New Super Mario Bros. Game of its kind, and they definitely innovated and made all the boss fights in the New Super Mario Bros. Series better in different ways. New Super Mario Bros. 2 is an absolute gem, hands down one of the best 3DS games that exist. The game is beautiful on 3DS, it was designed to be experienced with a friend. The multiplayer is actually really fun in this game because the camera is fixed on one player at a time. You could easily swap with who gets the camera just by simply ground pounding on the other player. So don't get me wrong, the final boss fight of this game, or rather the final boss fights of this game, were really good. Just like New Super Mario Bros. DS, the final battle is really easy. You start out by battling Bowser for the first time, and once you deactivate the bridge, Bowser falls through the lava. Then the Koopalings appear. Sprinkling a little twinkles here and there, Bowser rises from the depths of the lava now as a giant. Now you and player 2 have to move around different platforms as Bowser smashes them with his hands. This is a 3-phase battle, but at the end of the battle, once you reach the top, push the button and boom, Bowser goes falling right back into the lava. Fast forward to the end of the game and you do the exact same battle again, except with Dry Bowser. So it's just like New Super Mario Bros. DS, except with another phase after the bridge battle. It's not really as involving as New Super Mario Bros. Wii or New Super Mario Bros. U. You just have to make sure that you don't get swiped by Bowser's hand or land on the same platform as your friend accidentally so you don't both die. I feel like they could have done a little something better with the final boss fight, but nonetheless, it was still fun, earning the number 3 spot. Now, this game was one of the very first games that I ever played on the Nintendo Wii. I will never forget the excitement that I had when my mom bought me the game. All I was thinking was, they made the same game that they did for the DS, but on the Wii. For me, it was a much more immersive way of experiencing a video game than I have ever experienced in my life. Rather than just relying on your hands and fingers for all the motion, we actually used real motion and we used our arms and hands. So it was a much more involving way to play a video game, and for me, it was the first time playing something of that kind. I think that's the reason why Mario Kart Wii will always be my all-time favorite Mario Kart game in existence. There was honestly no better way to play that game than using a nunchuck and a Wiimote. But the final boss for this game is great. Although the first segment of the fight is pretty much the same thing that happens in New Super Mario Bros. DS, it quickly became the new staple of how Mario defeats Bowser for the New Super Mario Bros. Series. Now, had the game ended like this, the final boss fight would have been trash. But they did bring it back, thanks to Kamek. He sprinkles and twinkles a little bit here and a little bit there, and voila! Giant Bowser is born. He chases you as he shoots you down with aggressive fireballs. You must carefully evade his sneaky attacks throughout his crumbling castle. Truly, it was an exhilarating fight, especially when playing it with friends. This game is a whole new experience when played with friends, for real. If you die shamefully, you can rely and encourage your friends to carry on and get you to the end. It's challenging as a new player, it's really fun played with a couple of your friends, and it's also really fun to speedrun. I really enjoy the final boss fight of this game, and I think it's one of the best in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, and that's why it earns the number 2 spot. I'll never forget the day New Super Mario Bros. U came out. I was a young 19-year-old living in the dorms in Chicago. The same day the Nintendo Wii U came out was the same day New Super Mario Bros. U came out. I was heading to Orlando, Florida that evening because I didn't have friends to play the new Wii U with me, so I went out to visit Munching Orange and Purple Rodri. We rented a small hotel room at the La Quinta, and we just stayed there for 3 days playing the Nintendo Wii U. I remember going to my local GameStop, picking up my pre-order, packing it into my suitcase, heading to the airport, and then flying to Orlando, Florida. I remember setting up the Wii U and playing New Super Mario Bros. U and just thinking to myself how beautiful this game looked. I was mesmerized by almost all the levels in this game and how detailed each world was. The game felt and played just like a cleaner New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I had such a blast playing it for the first time, and it was a multiplayer experience that I experienced, like I said, with Munching Orange and Purple Rodri. We beat the whole game, we get to the very end, we had no idea what to expect. We deactivate the bridge, Bowser falls through, and then we're made to exit the castle. What could possibly await us ahead? None other than Giant Bowser and his son, Bowser Jr., in a battle against Bowser and Bowser Jr. Now, this instantly scored points for me. Having Bowser Jr. involved with his dad fighting against Mario and the gang was absolutely amazing. The whole setting just fit the mood of a final boss fight in a Mario game, and it really felt like a true ending to a Mario game, which all other Mario games for some reason felt like they lacked. I wasn't satisfied with any of those boss fights the way New Super Mario Bros. U satisfied me. So in this battle against Bowser and Bowser Jr., you must use Bowser Jr.'s clown card to knock Bowser on his head 3 times. In between phases, Bowser will jump at you, he'll also charge at you, make it rain fireballs from the sky. Bowser Jr. will also try to ruin your life by throwing bombs at you and trying to attack you at any given chance he can. I loved this battle so much because unlike the other New Super Mario Bros. Games, this battle is fun whether played single player or multiplayer. It was a very unique way of getting Bowser Jr. involved involved in the final fight, and it was a battle that required patience and good timing, earning the #1 spot on my top 5 Bowser fights in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. So there you have it, guys, my top 5 Bowser fights in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. I'd love to know what your top 5 list is and why. Don't forget to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you haven't already. But other than that, my friends, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.